afternoon and welcome to the Fort Bend Voter News. My name is Cameron Hill. I'm with and part of the Fort Bend Election News Editorial Board. Thank you so much for being with us. Please introduce yourself and why are you running?
Good afternoon. My name is Oscar Telfair, and I'm running to be the next judge of County Court of Law number 2. Now, why am I running? I'm running to make sure justice looks like everyone. Fort Bend is the most diverse county in the entire United States. However, justice doesn't look like that. Justice should not be based on one's race, ethnicity, nationality, economic status, or gender. Everyone is entitled to a fair trial, and I'm going to make sure when the litigants come in my courtroom, they're entitled get that fair trial. Another reason is I've been practicing law over 35 years, 27 years in private practice. Now, I've practiced in the areas of civil, criminal, probate, juvenile, and other matters. Why is this important? Because this is what's known as a general jurisdiction court. Fort Bend doesn't have the luxury of having separate criminal court, civil court, probate court, and a juvenile court. So what happens is the cases are bunched up, and the civil cases, they take 5 years to get to trial. Now, we understand that criminal litigants, criminal defendants have a right to a constitutional right to a speedy trial, so those cases take precedence. However, these are tax-paying citizens that they have a right to have equal access to the court. So I'm going to employ a more balanced approach to make sure those civil cases and probate cases get to trial as well. Because what happens is you have a civil case, if you have a personal injury case, so you're going to have medical bills. You're going to get those need to have those medical bills paid. The medical providers are breathing down your neck to have these bills paid. So if it takes 5 years, you're going to want to settle earlier so you can get those bills paid. On the flip side, you have the insurance companies that know it takes 5 years to get these cases to trial, so they're just waiting you out and trying to make you settle earlier, okay? And that's why I'm running. I'm going to make sure that everyone has equal access to this court.
Mrs. Denise Joshua Fleming.
Hello, Oscar.
Good afternoon.
Denise Joshua Fleming, the Fort Bend Election News there with the Fort Bend Election News Editorial Board. You mentioned the courts and the backlog of cases. If you're elected, what will you do to speed that process along? What exactly will you do to speed that process along?
Well, if we need to have dockets every day and evening dockets, I'm willing to do that. There has to be a change until we get to 1 million people. So you have to work longer to clear the backlog, then I'm willing to do that. So.
Sounds great. Oscar, what are some of the biggest changes that are needed in the justice system before Bend?
Well, we need to deal with bail reform, okay? There's people that are sitting in jail because they can't afford the bail. So we need bail reform. Indigent defendants, they can't afford bail, and what happens is they sit in jail and they want to get out. So what they do, because they don't have bail, they'll go and plead to something, a charge that they have not committed. Now, that's not fair, but they have their families, they're losing their jobs. So bail reform is one thing. And like I said, justice should look like everyone. The inequality of sentencing, there's an inequality from the charge to the sentencing phase. So there are rehabilitative programs and mental health programs that are already in place. Now, what's happened is they haven't been employed, especially by this court. So we need to utilize those rehabilitative and mental health programs. We're justified, okay? Now, we're not going, if you got recidivists, we're just not going to let people get out of jail free, okay? You're going to have to warrant those rehabilitative and mental health programs. So let's utilize those programs. So that's a change that needs to be made. So.
All right, your final question. I know that judges deal with the rule of law, but how will you work to ensure equality for all people of all backgrounds in your courtroom?
Justice will be blind in my court, and it should be blind. So I'm going to make sure, like I said, justice looks like everyone, regardless of color, okay? Justice should not be based on one's race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, or economic status. So I'm going to make sure that regardless of color, that you get a fair trial, and you're entitled to a fair trial under the Constitution. So that's how I'm going to make sure that the rule of law is applied.
Thank you. Sounds great. let's talk to our voters, look into the camera, and let them know why you.
Okay, I'm Oscar Telfair, and I'm running for County Court of Law number 2. Now, I'm a 34-year resident of Fort Bend County. Since I've been here, I've been working in the community, not just because I'm running. Since COVID, in March of 1920, I participated in over 55 food distribution banks. I've dealt and helped with COVID testing sites. I put on clothing drives for the homeless. As a matter of fact, I'm a member of Fort Bend Family Promise. I'm on the board, which is a homeless initiative for the working homeless, if you will. So I think it's important that someone that's presiding over this court has knowledge of the community, knows the community, has been out in the community. And I've been out in the community not just because I'm running, because community is in me. When I growing up, my grandparents raised me. They taught me good moral values. And my mother, she passed away when my sisters and when I was 7, and I had four sisters. So she taught us a sense of community, always giving back. People came to our house, even though we had little, she gave to them. So it's in me. So I have a sense of community, and I'm going to do that. I've been started mentorship programs. I've held men and boys conferences through my church. So I'm always giving back. And I think once elected, I'm going to make sure I stay in the community, because I don't like to see, I don't like to call the judge a politician, but it's becoming like that. So I'm going to make sure when I'm elected that I stay in the community, of course, and also working in church. I've been working in my church as a deacon, as a trustee, deacon over 30 years, and a trustee for 5 years. So it's important that you stay in touch with your community, and I'm going to do that. I'm asking for your vote. I'm dedicated. I'm passionate about this. I'm not just running for a position. I'm running, this is going to be like a ministry to me, opportunity to give back to Fort Bend community. I've been serving for a while. Now I'm ready to serve Fort Bend on a larger scale as judge of County Court of Law number 2. I thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to being the next judge of County Court of Law number 2 in Fort Bend County.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.